Hey, Small Beans listener, did you know we're in the process of trying to make a movie? It's true! It's called Papa Bear and tells the story of the time my dad came out as a gay furry when I was 17. We're currently looking for investors, creative partners, and talent to attach to the project. If you'd like to know more or to see our script, lookbook, and business plan, please hit us up at allthesmallbeans@gmail.com. Small Beans patrons can also listen in on the whole process by checking out our movie production diary series over at the Patreon. Thanks for your time, and now, on with the pod.
Stars. Where are they? Atoms. When are they? The answer to these questions and more is wowee. The world is full of these questions, and brimming, overflowing with that one answer. You can't even go to the library without hearing an intense cacophony of young and old whispering, wowee. If your library kicks ass, that is. Keep your bad libraries away from me. Anyway, I like the universe. I think it's neat. Neato bajito? Don't be ridiculous. But do get ready for some wowies as we today explore the universe's many bewilderments and scientifics.
Hi, welcome to the Small Beans program, Bewilderments and Scientifics. This podcast series is an ongoing conversation with the celebrity and educator, the prolific and brilliant Professor Scott Bugg. I'm your host, Abe Epperson. I have no science degree, but have long been in love with physics, biology, and the scientific method. I only hope to act on behalf of all of us as an intermediate, choosing topics and asking questions we hope to understand more fully. And to enlighten us, I'd like to introduce Professor Scott Bugg.
Hello there. I am Professor Scott Bugg. I got my name from my parents. I got my title from studying hard and asking questions like, can I have my degree now, please? And where do I apply for the science? Unfortunately, the answers I was given were all just, wowee. Extremely unhelpful, but I am resourceful and a brilliant doer, so I did, and thus got my undergraduate in knowledge, and I of course have a PhD in wouldn't you like to know. Currently, I teach gym at Welby High, cause I'm just kinda taking it easy these days. You can read my book, Triggered, A Repudiation of Cancel Culture, wherever books are self-published. You can find all of my other books, the titles of my many books, at libraries and one very special McDonald's.
Today's topic is warp technology, popularized in some form or another in all science fiction tales as a way to move faster than the speed of light. Many physicists have attempted to create a theoretical propulsion drive that would take us out to the stars. In 1994, Miguel Alcubierre devised a warp drive theory that essentially contracts space in front of a vehicle and then expands it behind it, creating a slipstream of sorts, propelling the ship faster than the speed of light across a plane, without invalidating that universal speed limit and breaking the physical rules of the universe. From what I understand, Professor, this drive has become a reality, and the human race has entered a new frontier in space. Can you explain to us how this drive works and what it means for the future of mankind?
Have you ever thought about how to get to a place, like, real fast, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if not, you best be thinking about it now, or else... Or else what? Or else think about something else. It's up to you. So yeah, today we're talking about warp drive. It's a very real ability that we have to go places, not in an instant, don't get carried away, but in a more than few instances, a moment and a half, a happening of immense occurrence. We have the power, we have the capability, we are able to push ourselves. Now, I don't mean in a motivational sense, I mean we are now capable of taking a rocket, blasting it off into space, and pushing it harder to make it go much faster. Now, the intricacies of this push drive, originally called the warp drive, of course, because the wokes wanted to change it to push drive. It's fine. We're okay with the wokes. Okay. But it is unfathomably exciting. It's bewildering even that we now have this push capability. It started with a nudge. It became a shove. Now we have a hearty push to the stars. The drive is built, the missions are planned, from us on the human planet to other places, strange worlds, that will be ours for the taking, for the dominating, for the destruction. We will conquer all!
Amazing. Amazing. What a time to be alive.
What a
I just
time.
had a few questions and then we'll get into the
Please.
interview segment. Just to clarify so that everyone knows kind of what these terms mean, because you were using in the, very technical speech. You talk about going fast.
Yes.
Like in a few instances. How fast, theoretically, can we go now?
Theoretically, we can go faster than the speed of light. Now, light is wicked fast. Okay, there's a whiz factor. The C. It's for whiz. It whizzes by.
It whizzes by.
Whizzes by. Now we are able to, in a very contained theoretical laboratory experience, which is to say, write numbers on paper, we can go faster than that. We have figured out the math. We had to fudge some numbers a little bit, but it works out with the right sort of versions of numbers.
Is there and so there's no upper limit. We know we can go faster than.
We can unequivocally, if you mess around with the numbers, we can go faster than whatever number. Say a number. Say it.
1,000,004.
Faster than 1,000,004.
Jesus
I know.
Christ.
I know. So we have developed this sort of ability. We can see, you're talking about the sort of telescopes, the lights we see from right after the Big Bang and things of that nature. We've got these powerful telescopes to look into the past, and the light is coming at us. Now we can beat the light. We can go the other way and still face the telescopes where they're going, and we go backwards.
Right.
We can beat it. It looks like nothing.
Jeez Louise.
We point the telescope and we move backwards. We see nothing. Light cannot reach us anymore. On paper, if you fudge the numbers a little bit.
So we're going so fast that we can just complete darkness.
Complete darkness. The light cannot reach us. It is not a black hole. The black hole is different, but we are sort of, it's like we are one. It's like that nothing can reach us. We are unstoppable. On paper, if you kind of fudge the numbers a little bit.
Obviously. It's science after all.
It's science. You can, you nudge it a little bit, yeah?
Before we bring our guest in, I just want to get your take on this. Because you mentioned this push drive.
Yes.
And how it's different from the old non-shove drives. What exactly is different about this new drive? Is it just, you mentioned bigger shoves.
Oh, yes.
Is that really all that we did?
Well, it's not all. I would say largely the answer to your question is, well, it's more the thing from before, but more of it. But, there's you have fuel, you burn the fuel, you create immense amounts of energy to blast off. We've got gravity is working against us. You got to get through the atmosphere. There's all these elements that are trying to keep us down. But that is no way to live. We're going to get up and we're going to fly. And so you create that amount of energy and you get up there. Once you're up there, you no longer have those other problems. So we created another drive that it's like a little magnet. You put it on the rocket, yeah? And it creates another intense amount of energy, more so than the rockets that we've built. And it, again, it's hard to explain beyond just being like, yeah, it gives it a bit of a shove,
Yeah, a little magnet. We got
It's a little magnet. It gives it a bit of a shove.
God, that is fascinating stuff being developed right now. And I think this is a great segue to bring in our expert that we have this week. This is a segment where we have the professor discuss today's topic with another leader in the field. Today, we have the pleasure of calling up Dr. Brad Spineman, a lieutenant commander on the Enterprise, of trying to make warp drive a possibility. He's a NASA scientist in charge of the team building a new warp drive engine currently being developed by the Air Force, or the Space Force, rather. It's quite an enterprise indeed. Hello, Doctor. Are you there?
I am present. Greetings, gentlemen. Fun fact. My colleagues call me Fun Fact because of my propensity for human trivia. Did you know margarine was invented in France in 1869? Thanks,
No.
It's good to be here.
Thank you for being here.
Hey, right out of the gate. Can I swear on this? I tend to swear a lot.
You can, I believe.
Damn
yeah,
right.
you
Fucking
can
right
swear.
on, man. Damn yes, hell. Shit.
Hell.
Fucking
Shit.
right on, damn hell yes,
Okay.
shit.
Let's get down to today's topic. Dr. Spineman, or may I call you, it's
Please.
Dr. Lieutenant Commander?
Call me Dr. Lieutenant Commander. Fun fact, Spineman.
Fun fact. Tell us about the new frontier of warp technology and why you're here with us today.
Thank you, Captain. I've been on a 5-year mission with the Space Force to develop a new warp drive. We tried everything. We tried using string. But of course, although we already have sufficient push drives, as Captain Scott Bugg elucidated earlier, the issue, as I'm sure you gentlemen know, is space, despite Dr. Bugg's statement that it is quite neat, is in fact literally very messy. There's a lot of shit and fucking shit out there. And when you try to use a traditional push drive, 99 times out of 100, the ship almost immediately hits something at light speed and explodes brutally. Of course, we continued to do this anyway to impress other nation states and devised many ways around this, including sending a whole long train of ships so that some would explode and the ones in the back would. I am here to announce something very exciting, gentlemen. Space Force leader Trump, ex post facto, has endowed me with the ability to reveal on this minor podcast of some note that we have developed a true warp drive. Now, I know what you're going to say, Bug, but we're taking the word back. We're taking it back from the fucking wokes. That's our word, and we're proud to use it to announce a drive that will actually zoom you from one point to another at light speed without hitting tiny things and exploding.
That's amazing.
You're welcome. You're fucking welcome.
And how does this drive work? Is it like I mentioned before? Like we have the Miguel Alcubierre, who devised the contract space in front of the vehicle, expands it behind. There's so many theories about how we can make this work. How did we end up actually making it work? How does warp drive?
Captain, this shit makes Galberry's shit look like shit. Or
fuck
whoever you said. I'm not even familiar because I've traveled on the warp drive at faster than light speeds and so aged backwards to the point that that's a reference I don't understand.
Wait, so you've been on the warp drive?
I have tested the new warp drive repeatedly, making me
space
an ancient Benjamin Button type backwards man.
So I'm talking to a very old baby right now?
I believe that's correct if you follow my prior statements. However, I must add that we're still aware of the great Captain Scott Bugg's work because it is timeless and has been spread through the time loop using the warp drive, which is why I could come on this show and reference him earlier. That all tracks, Captain.
So you're saying that we have gone through time and you have dispelled to other cultures the teachings of Scott Bugg as one of the, and this is one of the first things that you did with the warp drive. Am I understanding this correctly?
I guess so. Well, of course, since traveling at the speed of light, as you know, slows time relative to the static time of those around you. Warp drives were originally going to be marketed to the ultra wealthy to slow the aging process, purely a cosmetic product. However, in testing it, I accidentally did the stuff you said. And such a fan of Scott Bugg's work was I that I sowed knowledge of Scott Bugg into the very genetic code of primordial life on this planetoid, Earth, I believe you call it to this day.
Professor, did you know about any of this?
This is merely confirmation for me. This is exactly what scientists have been predicting for ages. You can even read in the foreword of my book about gym class. I very clearly state, all will hear my word, all will fear my word, from the Alpha to the Omega. I am. And I think it's
And that's you.
that's me.
Wow. That's like one of the first things we all recite at schools.
Indeed. And here we are. Everyone said, oh, this sort of cult, religious sort of like prophecy. Oh, very, very good. No. We now have scientific proof via this voice we're hearing.
Wow. This is huge stuff.
And yet, as fun fact, it's interesting to note that there is no Christ illusion here. Dr. Scott Bug has been woven into history as like just a notable scientist.
Oh,
As it should be, of course. No,
Right?
no. Oh, I do not want to imply
People do
any
not
sort
worship you as any
No.
kind of creator god. We
Oh, and they should
simply
not.
we simply hear your word from Alpha to Omega.
Alpha to Omega,
so
my
there's
word,
just like
exactly.
stone tablets telling us about like a cool guy.
A cool guy who says stuff, I think we can
I mean,
say.
I don't want
guess.
to. I think you're very cool. I think
Thank
you're
you.
the coolest. It's just beyond me that it's basically like you are a god, though. Dr. Spineman, you're saying that he's not a god. There's nothing religious to do with it.
Fun fact, I'm afraid I have a fucking ulterior motive, gentlemen.
Oh no!
I came here today to tell you that Scott Bug has, of course, throughout history been verified, as you say, a cool guy. But henceforward, I am threatening to go back in time and remove this status unless he pays me $8 a month.
Oh,
I've got you over a space barrel, Dr.
Got me over a space barrel.
My God! An ultimatum. What are you gonna do, Professor? What are you gonna pay the $8?
I
Please,
don't
I'm
think
desperate.
I want to give him the satisfaction of my $8 a
Why
month.
$8? Why not more? Like $1
Why not
million
more?
dollars,
Or even 20.
or like $2 and just
or
get
like
it in the aggregate.
$2 exactly
Like,
over time.
'cause-
Because I am a backwards man, inflation is like $8 seems huge to me. Do you know how many clams that is in caveman dollars, Captain?
No, I don't know.
Of course I do.
Caveman.
Many
Or
clams.
space
It's
Of course,
many.
you know.
Obviously, it's many. I know this.
I am a trained NASA Air Force Space Force Lieutenant Commander Captain Doctor. Obviously, I am not literally a caveman. I simply traveled back in time to hang out with them because I love them. You seem stupid to me.
What? I'm stupid, but
Hey
your
now,
caveman
we
are
don't
cool?
use that word on this podcast.
Very
we're not,
well.
We're not
Retract it.
insulting people like that. Mr. Epperson is, he tries to get it, and we don't want to imply
That's my job.
that there's some sort of deficiency or problem in
Hey,
terms
I didn't say
of-
I'm smart. I just think I'm better than a caveman. And
I think that's
here's
fair.
this guy.
I think that's
here's this
fair.
lieutenant commander coming in saying I'm worse than. What makes caveman so cool?
Because the initial idea for warp drive dates all the way back to cavemen looking up at the stars and wondering, I can walk fast, but what if I could walk very, very fast? This is the true inspiration for warp drive, especially in the
Cave-
sense that I discovered the warp drive, Captain, because a fucking guy accidentally traveled too fast and came back in time, and I clubbed him to death with a bone and took the warp drive. I should not have admitted that, Captain.
Yeah, you just admitted that you stole the technology from someone else.
It's
Does
my calm demeanor belies the burning guilt that forced me to confess. Like the jinx. Apologies.
wow. There's
I can't believe we got that on
revelations
tape.
left and right. I just want to understand. So I'm trying to draw out the timeline here, and just so I understand, we developed a warp drive, but we went back in time and actually stole the warp drive from someone in the past, in the ancient past, which gave us the warp drive. It's kind of like the grandfather complex, right? Like where did the warp drive come from? If, like, for example, I walk into a room and I say, yeah, I'm a previous version of, or I'm a future version of yourself. Take this, object. And then you, in your future, who is me, goes through time and gives that same object to another version, and it keeps passing down the line. Where did the object come from? It's a paradox. So where did warp drive come from?
I believe you have answered your own question. The analogy is quite apt. Hell, ass, shit, damn. You fucked your own grandmother.
Oh, this motherfucker.
In a sense, metaphorically.
In a figurative sense, yes. Poetically.
Aren't you saying you did? Aren't you the one who's the grandma fucker?
No, I would be the kick-ass caveman, Benjamin Button baby, hitting you with a bone and caving your skull in and taking the warp drive from you.
After he fucked his grandmother.
He fucked his grandma,
No,
I'm pretty
no,
sure.
I think you fucked your grandmother. I think it was,
Yeah, you think I fucked it? Out of all of this,
It sounds like a grandma fucker, and
I don't think I'm a grandma fucker. I will go to the mat for the fact that I am
bring
not.
up the grandfather paradox, Captain. You brought it up. If you recall.
I did, but that's just because that's what it's called. I just brought it up as like an analogy. I used an object. I just said a basic object. You're the one who brought in fucking into all this.
I think you are a basic
weird
object.
robot.
Hey, let's all calm down now.
Let's all calm down. I think everybody's feeling a bit triggered.
I'm a little hot.
It was metaphorical, dude.
All right, I'm sorry.
I simply
didn't mean
thought
to
it would bring clarity to the situation in your mind, your meaty mind. I have no idea if you fucked your sexy grandmother. I only know that time paradoxes are fine, as explored in Scott Bugg's work. They do not need to be understood and happen all the time. We describe it as deja vu and various other, I cannot think of any other instances, primarily deja vu, Captain.
Primarily, we in the literature, we call it A-OK. We call it just how things are. There are a lot of names for it. It is just...
You don't have to understand it. It just is.
It's A-OK is what it is.
It's A-OK. Okay. I will concede that to you, that paradoxes can just be A-OK.
Yeah,
but I
fine.
still want to know, where did we get this, sorry for swearing, fucking warp drive?
Thank you for swearing.
Yeah, I know. I didn't like it when I said it just
sounded
now.
weird. It sounded like
weird,
you didn't.
but anyway.
It offends me coming out of your mouth specifically. It does have a different cast to it, Captain.
I'm trying over here. Look, can someone tell me who developed the warp drive?
I presume that it is simply a matter of all right, follow me now. Dr. Scott Bugg's work, having been sewn into the fabric of reality, gave birth to the push drive and the failed attempt to use string to better the push drive, which, as you know, led to the Bosnia-Herzegovina conflict of the mid-90s, Captain. However, later, I went back in time, killed a guy, and took his warp drive. I don't understand what's so difficult to understand.
Okay. I mean, I just wanted to, did you hunt the guy down? Did you just casually meet?
Well, I think simply he's simply saying that I invented it. And he stole it.
Why didn't you say that?
I think he's probably ashamed. Probably doesn't want to admit it.
I feel pretty beat up about it. It sucks. It's one of the worst things I've done, other than the previous horrible thing I already confessed to.
And NASA was cool with all this. They're like, go back in time.
NASA's a bunch of freaks. Of course, they're cool with this.
NASA put out a hit on Dr. Scott Bug.
Yeah,
for real?
Yeah, they get nasty. They get real nasty.
Guess what, motherfuckers? For trying to understand a time paradox, Abe, you're on their list now, Captain.
What? Just for trying to understand? That seems like that's anti-science. Space Force.
Wants
Are
your
you just
blood.
chanting?
Space Force wants your blood.
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 You're in on this now, Professor?
I wouldn't say I'm in on anything. I think I am my own Alpha and Omega. I am outside of this realm you're speaking of, although I am very aware of the goings on at NASA. I do have insider info. I do have connections there. I have maybe done a little bit of quiet work for them over the years. And so I'm simply aware Space Force wants your blood.
To me, Professor, it seems pretty clear that this guy stole your warp drive and he murdered you in the past. I don't even know how you got there, but he's just saying that.
In the
you're
past,
just cool with it?
I will
In the
have
past.
going to be murdered. A future version of what you will
Sure.
have been.
I haven't been,
Right.
will be. So,
But through your sacrifice, the warp drive will be gifted to humanity. And, I might add, announced on this middling science podcast.
Keep saying that.
he does keep saying that. It's a bit insulting. But the important thing is, I think, and we've talked about this before, I think the science is paramount. The science is the most important thing that we are doing. The amazing things I've discovered, you don't even necessarily know all of them. Sometimes I will walk into a room and go, well, what if it's weird? And just the light bulbs go on, and then you got, bam, a microwave. Yeah, I invented the microwave, but you're not gonna read that
Sure.
anywhere because I'm not broadcasting it because I don't care about that. I don't care about the credit. I don't care if I'm, murdered by a bone millions of years ago. I care that it exists. The technology is out there. The knowledge is out there. The science wins over all. I am a ghost. I'm a shadow. I don't need this.
That's another reason why you're one of the best of us.
That is the
Look,
most scientifically grounded thing I've ever heard said. And might I add that I do believe humanity will one day truly understand a time paradox when someone who understands a time paradox returns to our time and we can kill them or torture them
then
and
take their shit. Yeah,
get
okay.
the information
So-
somehow, Captain.
So here's the deal. I think I'm piecing it together, and I may not be a smart man, but it seems pretty clear to me
Here, here.
that Professor, you don't have warp drive on your person right now. Like you haven't built it, but he said that you built it. So
I believe I left it in my other lab coat.
I'm saying we jump this guy, take his warp drive, because then, unfortunately, I guess in the future, he has to take it from you. So inevitably, in order for the paradox to exist, you have to own it at some point. Are you following me here, Professor?
Well, I think, wink. I disagree. I don't think we should be jumping this fine science
Right.
man. But I do think maybe perhaps the three of us should meet in person for a meal.
And bring
a meal.
bring some cool stuff with
Some
us.
cool
Like
stuff.
I'll bring a picnic, and you can bring
We'll bring gizmos. I love gizmos. If you could give me some gizmos and show me gizmos, click click click. I'd be right there. I'm the gizmo man. I love little gizmos. I love being sold little gizmos. I love seeing and playing with, pointing at, tweaking little gizmos. So maybe we all bring our favorite all-powerful gizmo. Just as like a not a secret Santa, because you can keep it. You keep it. When you bring it, you take it home with you when you're done. So not exactly like that, but or like a white elephant situation, but something where you just bring it and we, hang out.
Yeah. What do you think of that, Dr. Spineman?
That sounds lovely, although my sensors, which is what I call my brain and body, is detecting some tension in the room. Therefore, I've decided to club you both with this bone.
No, not the bone.
No, don't bring the
Not
bone
the
into this. I
bone.
don't think we need to bring the bone into this. I think that there's no reason to.
I will
include
bring the bone to dinner, just so we all know that we're not fucking around. We're having a dinner as science professionals, and if
Indeed.
anyone tries to fucking fuck with me, I will cave your fucking skulls in with my goddamn bone.
Again? You mean you'll hit us with the bone again?
Yeah.
Ah, ha, 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 warp drive joke. Abe probably doesn't get it. That makes it a
I
fun
don't get it.
in-joke between
Damn.
myself and Dr. Bug.
May I ask the type of bone you'll be bringing with you?
A femur, because it is the best form of bone to hide in a lab coat due to it being the first bone anyone thinks of when they are quickly supposed to think of a bone.
Think about bones. Yeah, that's right. That's true. I always think of the bone. No one thinks about other bones.
Fun fact, did you know the largest bone in the body is actually the skin?
No.
It's a big bone.
It is a big bone. That's why we encase the push drive, or warp drive now, I guess. Take that, you wokes. We encase it in skin because it's the strongest bone.
That's why it's called the skin drive. Which, did I not mention that?
No.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time you'll mention it.
Maybe
Yeah,
we'll have time
next
for that
time.
next time.
Or at our picnic.
The one you intend to poison me at?
No.
That's right.
Nobody's-
I heard your wink. Your audible wink was detected
We
by my
didn't have an
sensors.
audible wink. Let's put a pin in this. And let's
Nobody said poison.
I want to move to a new segment that we call the Universe of Twitter, where we can answer some of these questions that the Twitter sphere has asked. So we have these questions. Listeners can follow me at Abe the Mighty or the professor at Prof. Scott Bug and ask questions featured during this segment. I'll start with the first one, and both of you can jump in at any time. At Bump Grump, parentheses parody, asks, I'm pretty fast. I think me and this warp clanker should race. Who sets that up?
I am fully endowed to set up competitions between spaceships and randos from the internet.
There you go.
The Space
talk to-
Force.
Space Force is doing a lot of
the-
good work.
I was going to say the infrastructure's a little weak, but
They're doing good work with it.
yes, great work, captains. Mostly dedicated to showing up things like children, horses, animals, birds by flying rockets faster than that and saying, "In your face, fucker! Look at our
That's
rocket."
right.
That's true.
It's where the term space race comes from.
Well,
was
that
the
actually
original
refers
space race.
to a race of people from space, but we should go back in time for me to explain that.
Or for you not to say that out loud.
Yeah, you let a lot of things slip by. At Blotho the Endless tweets, I looked into some dark energy before, and it was staring back, and now I see holes in the universe. How do I stop a haunting? We didn't really talk about dark energy, but I think he's referring to the fact that you'd have to create a negative energy potential in order to create a warp drive.
Yeah. Read your Bible.
That is not how warp drives work at all. But go off.
Simply read your
Well,
Bible.
how do you stop a haunting, Dr.
Read your Bible.
Spineman?
Read your
Read
Bible.
your Bible. All right.
Ghosts
There we go.
are only capable of warp 4 or below. Simply go warp 6.
So just go
and
faster.
Just
Or
run away.
5.
Just
Or 5.
run at warp 6.
This is why Scott Bug is so admired. His simple, no-nonsense, straightforward approach fucking slaps.
Thank you. Sometimes you just gotta cut through the fucking bullshit and just say, fucking read your goddamn Bible.
Fun fact, many think that the warp number is a speed designation. This is not accurate. It is actually a subjective measure of attractiveness. Like, they're a warp 6 here, but they're a warp 9 in Nebraska. I hope that answers your ghost question.
At Surfing Guy 14 asks, could you slap one of these warp drives on a surfboard?
Would again.
This guy sounds cool. What a cool
What
guy.
a cool guy. I was gonna say he's a cool guy. You're kind of a cool guy.
Takes one to know one, cool guy.
Takes another one to know another one. Cool
Wink.
guy.
I'm taking it back. I'm taking back the wink.
It's yours now.
Oh.
That's right. Here's
Yeah.
another one. Wink. That's yours now. Take it.
Yeah, wink. God damn this guy. At Infinite Balls
Intercepted.
tweets.
I intercepted Abe's wink.
Oh,
too.
interception!
You
All
can't
winks
intercept
go
a
to
wink.
me.
That's not
That's
how
the
winks
cool
work.
guy getting
I'm
the wink.
That's
sucking
not how
down these
winks
winks.
work.
Gobble, gobble,
Also,
slurp,
yes,
slurp.
yes, about the surfboard thing. Do what you gotta do, man.
Do what you gotta do. Live your life. Live an awesome life. Sounds like you already are.
At Infinite Balls asks, doesn't time dilation make it so whomever's driving these babies would get rule old real fast. Why would we want ships that make you old?
Fun fact. The balls only appear infinite due to a phenomenon called blue shift. The blue balls are actually red.
Red balls, yes.
Oh.
That's a NASA joke.
It's about cum.
You would be laughing if you were smart enough to be a NASA captain.
This fucking
That's right.
guy. All right. Last tweet.
This fucking guy.
We didn't answer the fucking question, dipshit.
All right. What's the answer then?
Which, well, I'm saying we all saw Elon Musk in a Cadillac as a skeleton. This was the unfortunate result of warping his cool car too fast through space. However, we have also established that going faster than light makes you a backwards Benjamin Button baby man. So, this is itself a paradox, which proves that Abe is wrong.
I am sorry.
You
First
took
of all,
all that time to say the same thing.
There
That doesn't
are-
answer the
okay,
question
let's
either.
Let's
There
not
are
argue. Let's not-
paradoxes. Accept it.
Why do we want... All right.
But sorry,
right.
real quick, wouldn't a backwards Benjamin Button be just a guy?
Yeah.
It's been a tremendous pleasure, Captain.
He's not answering,
Thank you
is he?
for having me on this shit.
At Bill Nye tweets, look, just pay for the child support.
No,
I'll
you
call
pay
it-
for the
Oh,
child support bill. No, you
shit.
pay for it.
shit.
You always got.
I'm so sorry.
Fudge this butt in his poop. I swear. Show me your warp drive, Bill. Sorry.
Yeah. Who's got the warp drive now, Bill? As always, your input and questions are an important part of the science process, so thank you, Twitter. That's basically all the time we have. I want to thank Lieutenant Commander Dr. Brad Spineman for joining us.
It's been a tremendous pleasure, Captain. Thank you
thank
for
you.
having me on this shit.
Are there any comedians or websites you want to plug for any reason?
Nothing to plug other than myself into the wall because I am a human man.
I knew it. I knew this
who owns
motherfucker.
a car that you charge.
All right. Well, thank you again. This concludes another episode of Bewilderments and Scientifics. Again, I'm Abe Epperson, and thanking the professor for joining us, and wrapping up this episode with "May your day be blessed by science." Hi everyone, Abe again. This podcast was a collaboration between the creators of Some More News and Small Beans. If you like this podcast, please stop by patreon.com/smallbeans, where you will get new episodes early, as well as exclusive content provided by Small Beans. We love you!